Hello, everybody, and Happy New Year.
Howdy. Yes, and I hope everybody had a very Merry Christmas. And here's the terrible the two apostates you love to hate.
Kicking Watchtower's ass again.
Yeah, once again.
Yes. Thank you so much, everybody, for your comments under our latest Angels video. Thank you for watching it. Hey, and we didn't lose all our subscribers.
Well, imagine that.
Yeah, many of you found some good points in there, so that's all we want. Is just, you know, for you to find some good points that maybe you can use. And I just wanted to mention real quick, Mikey, that after we had done that video and got it uploaded, we had actually ordered a little tiny bottle of monatomic gold. And paperwork came with it. And I just want to mention real quick, and it's like, man, I wish we would have had this for the video. But in their paperwork, they said that alchemy for the monatomic gold was from the Egyptian god Thoth. Thoth. And it mentions in there that Moses and his Akhenaten priest tribe knew how to do this. Now, where the heck did they get the information that Moses and the Akhenaten priest were doing this monatomic gold for rituals?
Well, see, you have to remember what Watchtower printed. Brothers and sisters, you don't need to spend much time in study and research because we have qualified brothers to do that for you. Well, when you let someone else do your research for you, it's things like this that you never really get to learn about.
Or sometimes it just falls in your lap when you order a bottle of something.
Well, yeah, we did order that monatomic gold, but you know, right now I haven't seen much of a difference. You know, maybe what I'm lacking is Yahweh's blessing. Maybe I haven't killed enough people yet to make that monatomic gold work.
Maybe you haven't done the right ritual.
I haven't done the right Egyptian ritual, exactly.
Yeah, we're mockers. Okay, now getting to the main part of the video. Mikey was so tired, so we appreciate him coming home from work after a long, cold, wet day and doing this video, you know, with me. I appreciate it so much. But it was so important that we both felt, you know, that it needed to be done tonight. And I want to thank Barbara Anderson and the SCARS organization, SCAARS, and I'm going to put the link down below to this and the document, because at great expense to them, they got a transcript of the Montana court case that we all just heard about. Now, we've heard about the you know, settlement. It was $4 million, I believe.
Millions. Yeah,
and Watchtower was trying to appeal it. Yeah, but excuse me, $35 million.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, too many court cases.
Yeah.
And I want to mention that many of you have sent me links to this Jehovah's Witness who is doing YouTube videos. Daro, D-A-R-O, Wheilberg, W-E-I-L-B-U-R-G. Now, he's a current Jehovah's Witness.
So he claims.
So he claims. And he's in his suit and tie, and he's doing videos basically calling all of us apostates liars. Like Candace Conte was not molested by a JW, and now he's done a video about shunning and how it's biblical. Hey, dude, according to jw.org, look under your About Us, the frequently asked questions. Watchtower doesn't shun.
Well, I get something better for him.
What's it?
For all of you friends that have been with this channel from the beginning, you will remember there was another idiotic Jehovah's Witness that put up a challenge, and I took that challenge. I forget the name of his
Mighty Goomba.
No, it was another.
Well, there's been lots.
Yeah, there's been a few, and if you remember, it had to do with the whole 607 thing.
6 years and we still haven't heard from him.
Well, here's the thing. I put this channel up as an offer. You know, as something to
wager.
Yeah, thank you. I put this channel up for a wager if he could prove that Jerusalem was truly destroyed in 607. And if I remember it, he says, "Well, I'm going to get to that. He never did. And then a couple days later, we got we got an apology from him.
But this guy
here, we'll probably get an apology from him too.
Yeah, it might take longer because he seems out there. But the thing is,
you gotta remember, he's associated with the Watchtower Babble Crap Society, so he's just babbling and parroting what Watchtower is telling him to do it without doing any real research into the subject.
but I just want to emphasize, this is why Watchtower tells the Jehovah's Witnesses not to debate with apostates, not to do videos, not to be on YouTube and social media, because you look like an idiot.
Well, there again, from what you told me today, dear, he's disabled all the comments, so he doesn't give anybody a chance to, refute what he's saying.
That's why we have to mention it in a video.
Typical JW. Can't defend crap.
Yeah. So, this is for Dara Wheelberg, who thinks that all these child abuse cases are lies. And like I said, I want to thank the SCARS organization and Barbara Anderson for sending us these court documents. Now, I'm going to put the link down below. Now, when you click on the PDF, the page number of the PDF, this is going to be like page 411 to 418, something like that I'm going to be covering. And what this is it was the abuse victim's lawyer closing statements.
Yes.
And the reason I want to read just this is because there are so many gold nuggets in here. And for many of us, we've been trying to guess how much Watchtower's net worth is. Now, we know several years ago they were in New York's top 40 corporations, right, for, what was it, $40 billion?
Something like that.
Their net worth?
Correctly, yeah.
So this is very enlightening for those that think they still have like $100 billion.
And we also have to remember, too, that Watchtower has multiple corporations, so it's not beyond them to start moving money around and start hiding it, because there are some very specific figures that we're going to mention in the closing arguments, and we all need to bear that in mind, because it plays a huge awakening moment for Jehovah's Witnesses, that there's a very specific reason why they're selling off the kingdom halls, and it's not to build new kingdom halls in third world countries.
Like India?
Like India.
Okay. Now this is, like I said, the victim's lawyer doing his closing statements. What do we know people do when they're caught red-handed? They deny that it took place, and they try to blame someone else. And that's exactly what we've heard here today. First, they tried to fight over 2004 and say, we're not responsible. We're not liable. And what do we know at the end of this trial that the court has ruled on? They broke the law. Oh, well, we're caught red-handed on 2004. Let's fight 1998. They say 98 never happened. But you know what? Eventually, given enough time, the truth comes out. And it took until today and Ms. DeSoto standing up here when the truth finally came out, because they're backed into a corner. They say, we've got to blame somebody else. Let's blame Ivy. And what did they do to blame her? They based all the blame on Ivy on the 1990 report that they've been telling us never happened. And so, still backed in the corner, what's the next thing they've tried to do to try to avoid accepting any responsibility?
Now you have to remember, as he's making this statement, he's referring to Watchtower not accepting responsibility for the child's sexual abuse.
Yes, and this closing statements basically is to the court and to the jury.
Right.
And that's why it's written into the record of the transcript. Okay, back to the transcript. Because I haven't heard anybody stand up and accept a shred of responsibility for violating the law. They give you some mumbo-jumbo about confidentiality. They try to tell you what the law is. The court tells you what the law is. And if you look through the instructions, nowhere is the court going to tell you anything about the law having to do with confidentiality. And that's because the court had ruled on it. And she has not told you what the law is. The court tells you that. And here's where their confidential mumbo-jumbo is just a bunch of talking in circles and why it fails, and it tells you something about the defense of this case. Peter goes to the elders at Thompson Falls. Do they keep what he told them confidential? No. They tell Holly. Holly reports. Do they say, oh, we're clergy members, we have to keep this confidential? No. They go tell the child molester. Well, what's their argument? Well, we're a religion. We're special. We get to define confidentiality any way we choose, and we're going to define confidential to mean telling the very person that is abusing these kids.
Now, before she reads any further, just remember to the leaked videos that had Robbie before the Judicial Committee. Remember, Robbie confesses to an elder that he committed fornication.
And then they go and tell, those elders go and tell the whole body of
the rest of the body. That confidentiality is broken right there. So what this lawyer is showing is that this religion in particular, the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Watchtower Bible Crap Society, are making this crap up as they go along. And they got caught at it, and their back is up against the corner right now.
And let's also remember that in the elders' manual, they are instructed, the elders are instructed to call legal department at headquarters first.
And that breaks the confidentiality also, friends.
Because then it crosses state lines.
Now it becomes a federal offense.
Yeah. That's why it fails, and that's why, given enough time, the truth eventually comes out. I'm going to disagree with something that defense counsel said. This is not just a case about reporting. This is a case about enforcing Montana laws and protecting children from being abused. Now, a lot of time was spent on one of Holly's questions, because they had given a questionnaire, that they're going to give to the jury. So they go and they talk about this, because they have to determine, how much liability Watchtower has, how much the congregation has, how much the elders have. And so that's what this questionnaire is they're talking about. So I'm going to skip all of that. But I want to go down, okay, then the court is giving instructions to the bailiff and to the jury of, filling out this questionnaire that they will need so that they can agree on punitive damages. So, I'm going to skip over to what would be on the document itself, page 118. It says, the court says, all right, so the parties are stipulating to the court reading agreed facts number 14 and 15, correct? Mr. Smith, yes, Your Honor, those are two net worth facts. Ms. DeSoto, that's correct, Your Honor. The court, all right, these are agreed facts that the parties submitted in their pre-trial order before the trial.
Can I remember, these are facts established in a court of law.
Okay, CCJW, and I just want to remind everybody that stands for Christian Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses, which is one of their corporations.
One of their corporations, exactly.
CCJW's net worth is $49,991,000.
What? They're only...
$49 million.
The Christian Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses is worth less than $50 million. I mean, it's close, but I mean...
$49 million. That's not much for
That's
a
not much
corporation.
For a worldwide religion such as the Watchtower and Babel Crap Society.
Now, if I remember my history correctly, the CCJW Corporation, they're the ones that, oversee the Bethel, family and, the inner workings, the circuit overseers, the missionaries, and all of that. That is the corporation that runs all of that in the congregations, if I remember my history correctly.
So remember, the Christian Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses is, let's just round it up, is worth only $50 million, but it's actually a little less than that.
Agreed fact number 15. Watchtower New York's net worth is $1,590,239,000.
Wait, so combined...
So all that property they have sold... And their only net worth is 1.5 billion. Guys, for a worldwide corporation, that isn't much.
It's not much money. That's not much operating expense either.
Especially when you're paying millions and millions of dollars for every single one of these court cases. And there's more coming.
Yeah, exactly. It's not much money. This is this is the hurt that is on Watchtower right now. This is how, because you're hearing from the court transcripts what the Christian Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses and Watchtower New York is worth. And it's not really a whole lot of money when you look at it. Just a few years ago, they were number 40 in New York for the top businesses.
Yeah. Okay, so the judge continues, and he says, all right, the plaintiff may proceed. So then Mr. Smith says, yes, Your Honor, if I could just set up a board real fast. And then it says a pause was taken in the proceedings for them to set up a board. Okay, and then he says, may it please the court, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you were given a verdict form, and in that verdict form you answered the question, finding that defendants acted with malice with respect to certain actions. Now, we did a video about this questionnaire,
right,
that went to the jury, several months ago. One of the things that's important for you to consider at this point, Mr. Taylor, I'm just going to write down the numbers that the judge read. Okay. So the judge read to you the two numbers, and I wanted to write them down and make sure that you had those. We have Watchtower, New York, and one of the things that you need to consider for this phase of the trial is the net worth of Watchtower, New York. So I'm going to write that down and tell you why that's important. Watchtower's net worth is $1.5 billion with a B. I can write the full number. It's $1,590,000,000.
$90 million.
Yeah. It's been a long day. It's going to just round it down to save you guys time. So it's $1,500,000,000. I have to make sure I get the numbers correct. It's $1.5 billion. The Christian Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses, and keep in mind when I tell you these numbers, the judge read them to you as agreed facts because defendants have stipulated to it so you can take it as true. So the defendants stipulated this as true. So CCJW, their net worth, I'm just going to round down to save everybody time, is $49 million. Now he's going to give some examples here. Now when you find that somebody acts in malice, punitive damages are appropriate. And the purpose of punitive damages is to punish someone or to deter their conduct. In a case like this, what is important is to send a message to the Jehovah's Witness organization. And I thought this was important. That's why I'm reading this.
And that's why they got fined $35 million in this one. Or they had to pay out $35 million.
That you must obey the law and you cannot ignore the safety of children and expose them to known pedophiles. In order to send that message, remember, their headquarters are in New York, and it's important to send a message from here in Montana that it is loud enough that it will be heard in those office headquarters in New York. Here's the example that I'd like to give. If you have $100 and I want to get your attention, is taking 10 of those dollars going to get your attention?
No.
Or will it take more than that? Here's why I tell you that. If you take, I'm just going to put Watchtower, New York, if you just award punitive damages of 10% of, imagine them having $100 and saying, I'm going to take 10 from you. That's $150 million. Maybe that's enough. Maybe it takes more than that. But I tell you that to you just as a baseline. That to you just as a baseline. With CCJW, for attempting to get their attention in New York, and you say, I'm going to get your attention with 10% of your net worth, 10 out of $100, that is $4.9 million. You will be asked during this phase of the trial to determine what amount is a proper amount to send them a message by saying, when your conduct is in malice, you have to be punished. We don't want you to do this again.
And the courts are recognizing this, friends. This is not a losing battle for any of us. We are putting the screws to Watchtower, especially when stuff like this is being publicly reported. And Kim and Mike, we know damn well that Watchtower watches our videos. We have made Watchtower change things because of what we've done in our videos. So Watchtower, how do you like us now?
Well, I'm sure they don't like us very much.
See, here's the thing, friends. If you're somebody who's in litigation with Watchtower, these closing arguments, that court case in Montana, you can refer to that, because I know that most judges in this country will honor another judge's or a court's decision in matters like this.
So there's lots of information in here that can be used in other cases, especially when it comes to the clergy confidentiality.
Well, there is no clergy confidentiality in Watchtower.
Yeah.
Why? Because they don't claim to have a priesthood like.
Well, it was just proven in here
Yeah.
too that they don't keep it confidential. They go tell everybody.
Yep. Exactly.
And we know they call the legal department too, and they tell other elders, and you know they got to tell the circuit overseer. So it is not kept confidential.
No. So some of us may be sitting here thinking, well, Watchtower's going to change. Watchtower's going to change. No, they ain't. They ain't going to change because they lack the humility in implementing any type of change that's going to be effective. Because too much damage has already been done. Too many people have left. I mean, my goodness, look at the number of XJWs doing videos on YouTube right now. Holy crap.
We can't keep up.
It's just, it's Watchtower knows they're done, and they're gonna go down with the ship. That's exactly what they're gonna do.
Yeah. And so these Jehovah's Witnesses that are on YouTube doing videos saying that all these abuse cases are lying, it just shows how out of touch with reality they are. And I'm trying to be nice. I'm not going to call him an idiot, because I know that he will not go research these court cases. But these are legal court transcripts. And like I said, I'm going to put the link down below. There's also some other documents on this website.
Yeah, a lot of money was actually paid out to get these transcripts. Kim and I know the amount. I don't think we're going to let anybody know right now, but we do know the amount, and it's not chump change, friends. It's not chump change.
Yeah. So, you know, like I said, thank you to the SCARS organization for spending the money, you know, to get this transcript for all of us. And like I said, they've got some of these other documents, some of these that Barbara Anderson wrote to, you know, the attorney generals in these states and stuff. So, you know, check it out, and please share everywhere. You know, plaster this everywhere. And those of you, you know, who are bilingual or multilingual, you know, take this and, you know, do your own video in your languages. You know, we need to get this spread out.
Well, it just shows how much Watchtower now fears us.
Yeah.
How they fear the information age. And, you know, that fear that they've made all of us grow up with about Armageddon around the corner, all of the nightmares that they've instilled in a lot of us, we are now their nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope we're giving Watchtower nightmares. I hope the governing body is having nightmares like what they've given to everybody else.
Wait, do you hear that?
What?
I hear Let saying in a voice from the past that the apostates say that we hide pedophiles. Well, that's just ridiculous.
It was just proving you do.
It was just proving you do, Let. You lying piece of bleep.
We hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you for watching, and we love you guys. Bye.